Home prices hit record high in June, dragging down sales. Home prices hit record high in June, okay, dragging down sales. Let's go through this. So the national median existing home price in June rose to $435,000, a record in data going back to 1919, a 2% increase from a year earlier, while U.S. existing home sales fell 2.7% from prior month to a seasonal adjusted annual rate of 3.93 million, the slowest pace since September, according to the National Association of Realtors. Home buyers were hesitant with unaffordable home prices and mortgage rates above 6.5%, making purchases difficult. Lawrence Yun, NAR's chief economist, said, the fact that we hit record high home prices is reflecting multiple years of undersupply. Nationally, there were 1.53 million homes for sale or under contract at the end of June, down 0.6% from May, but up 15.9% from June of 2024, with more than 1 in 4 listings on Zillow getting a price cut. That's a big number. The highest proportion for any June since at least 2018. Diane Ayala Sefi, branch manager at New American Funding in San Antonio, stated there is a lot more inventory and the demand is not that great. So that makes for a better market for who? The buyer. Noting sellers are becoming a lot more flexible. So this story, Tom, is a weird story. It's a story that's telling you the prices are going up, but it's also telling you sellers are more flexible to wanting to sell. Tom, your thoughts on this story?
Well, I don't know who's more full of crap, politicians or headline writers. And I am getting, I just,
Shit,
you know what we should do every day? You know what we should do every day, Pat? Just have 15 minutes. All of us sit here and we just go fast popcorn. We decode headlines for the short attention span reader. For people that don't want to read headlines, they just want to know what it means. And we could just do it. So, home prices hit record highs, dragging down sales. No, sales have been low for now 3 years, record lows. And what that means is the number of houses that transacted, Vinny. Like Vinny, we've been looking at Zillow. You were looking at down here. You're looking for a nice condo, 2-car garage, so you've got
put a wife in it too. Hopefully,
well, you wouldn't put her in the garage, but I mean,
you know what I mean.
Well,
it depends on her attitude. But go ahead.
Yep. So, but the point is, you're looking for a great housing for yourself with a secure garage, and there's no inventory. They're not for sale. And the reason is people didn't want to sell their houses because they had a really good interest rate on their mortgage. Well, then guess what also has been happening? The property tax has gone up, and also that happens more gradually during reassessment, but it's the homeowner's insurance has gone way up, like California and Florida. And so if you read into the Wall Street Journal story, it's like we're starting to see price cuts, but people like you are still looking at the interest rate and what that does to your payment. And as soon as you buy that place, the property tax is going to reassess at the transaction, which that's up. And then the homeowner's insurance is up. So what you have is everything is up. It's not just this, but the first, I believe, and I connect with Bill Pulte, who's, president, the director, of Fannie Mae, and doing a great job in Washington. And he's been saying, we need interest rates to come down a little bit so we can get the market moving a little bit. If we can get one of the things to move, get the interest rates to move so more people could afford the payment with the property tax, with the insurance, maybe we could get this market going. But the Wall Street Journal here is just saying, home prices hit record high. That's dragging down the sales. Okay. But, there were some price cuts starting to happen. But the truth is the number of transactions is at a still way low. In other words, you can say this is up 1%, that's up 1%, that's down 1%. But and you can play games with percents. Words talk, numbers scream. Percents don't tell the whole story, but they're part of the numbers. It's the number of transactions just aren't happening because overall it's a housing affordability crisis. That's what the issue is. And prices are up because the great houses are still selling, not briskly, but they're selling at higher prices.
So what does it mean?
It means that the market right now, there's not really a market for buyers right now. They need more things to be on a market at a moderated price. So when they buy that house, then the property tax is more moderated.
Do you think sellers today Rob, what is the number of? Do you remember the number, Tom, on how much cash people had during COVID? How we reached a all-time high of 2.4 trillion of cash, and it went all the way down to 1.4 trillion.
That's right.
What is the cash people have today?
And then the other alignment with that was the total amount of credit card debt that we went.
That's right.
Down to 700 billion, and we blew
1.1 trillion or whatever.
And we blew it right past 1.1 trillion when the government said 2022 everybody can go out and play.
No, what is the right way to ask the question? Because a lot of this matters. If I'm a buyer, this is the number I'm looking at.
What is the federal government statistic on total savings? And this will be coming from, I think it's St. Louis Fed that used to keep this. Actually, I'm sure of it. It's St. Louis Fed used to keep statistics on consumer savings and total credit card debt.
This number matters the most because during COVID, I remember the chart that they said during COVID, is it showing it to you? During COVID, they showed that the total cash during COVID showed that total cash American.
Okay, there's one stat that the AMS, average monthly savings, is 496. People are saving about $500. But what is the total reserve, like total savings reserves for Americans?
Average saver balance is $7,460.
That's not what I'm looking at. What I'm trying to find out is because if cash is low and I'm a buyer, fine. Yeah, I'd be curious to know how much cash people have. Because if the liquid cash we have right now is super low, then guess what? It's a good time to go buy because sellers need cash. But if the cash in hand people have right now is at an all-time high, nobody's going to be selling. The leverage isn't on you. So it becomes a very awkward time where sellers are willing to sell, but they're not motivated seller for the most part. So anytime I'm trying to buy something, I'll ask, is the seller motivated? They're motivated, but they're not desperate. Okay, well, what does that really mean? So you're not really fully motivated. Everybody's motivated, right? But not at the levels of wanting to drop the price by $50,000 or $100,000, depending on the price of the house. So a lot of that matters with the amount of cash that we have at hand. At least a couple years ago, it was tough because everybody was greedy. Adam.
Well, I'm not going to make any realtor friends by saying what I'm about to say, but the most overrated investment you can possibly make is buying a house. I'm not saying it's a bad investment. I'm not saying you're going to lose money. I'm saying it's the most overrated investment. So let's play a little game here, Vinny, because you've been asking about buying a house here for a second. If you're going to buy $1 million house, put down a little down payment, put down 50 grand, you're a veteran. Okay.
I got the VA loan.
There you go. So right now, interest rate, 6%, whatever it may be, 30-year mortgage. In 30 years, you say, all right, I bought this house for $1 million. How much do you think you actually spent and paid for that house?
On the actual house?
30 years from now,
okay.
How much did you spend?
Is it less than half?
What do you mean less than
like $500,000? Like the house is $1 million?
Yes. How much did you spend on that $1 million house?
Like actually on the house, $750,000.
Well, you didn't spend $750 because it costs $1 million.
But
so it's more than $1 million.
Yes. It's more than $1 million.
Yeah.
How much?
$2 million.
I don't want that.
Well, you buy $1 million house, 6% interest rate, 30-year mortgage, boom, 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 do the math. You're going to spend $2 million on that $1 million asset. Do you understand what I'm saying right now? You don't... Vinny,
Rob,
don't buy a freaking house, bro.
That's all you have to say. What the hell are we doing freaking Jeopardy mortgages?
How much did you spend on $1 million house? $750. No. You're spending more than the $1 million because you have to basically make payments. And on your payments, there's interest on your payments.
I know that.
Over 30 years, your $1 million house is going to cost you $2 million. Double it, double it, double it. That's my point. So for young people out there, this is my message to you. Don't buy a house. If you're young, you're single, you're working on your career, you're working on starting a business, you're not married, you don't have kids, you're working on your life, don't buy a house. I totally understand if you're established, you have a family, you have kids, you know where you're going to live for the next decade, you may want to consider buying a house. 100% if that's who you are. If you're young, you're single, bro, keep your flexibility high and your overhead low. work on your career, work on your business, work on yourself. Don't get lied to and confused by the Realtor Association saying that renting is throwing away money. It's only throwing away money if you don't save that money, and use the difference to invest that money. I know plenty of realtors who rent. I don't know any financial advisors that don't own stocks.
Let me tell you what I found
Do the
out.
math on
Let
that.
me tell you what I found out yesterday for the very first time.
Tell me.
I found out that our governor doesn't own a home or a car. Do you know Governor DeSantis doesn't own a house or a car?
Smart guy.
Is under his wife?
Did you hear what I just said?
Yeah,
No.
it's weird.
Did you know that,
you know
Tom?
why?
I did not know that.
If you Google, does Ron DeSantis own a house or a car?
What?
He doesn't
Watch
need
this.
to.
No,
He
it's
doesn't own a
really does.
car, but his wife is a sporty little model.
Jesus, Tom.
Okay, so that was inappropriate, but let's go back to this. So yeah, he doesn't, no private home, okay,
Unbelievable.
does not own any private real estate, and doesn't own a car.
What does
They
his
use the
401k look
company-
like?
There's no public record. 7% own registered private vehicle. No public record of DeSantis personally owning a private vehicle.
What's
It's
wrong
kinda-
with that, though?
No, but it's kind of weird for a governor to not own. You ought to be.
I don't think
pro.
so.
Well, I understand you don't think so
Yeah,
because
you
you're like
of
the
all
anomaly.
people.
But
No,
what I'm saying
but,
to you is,
but maybe he's onto something.
it's very tough for you to want others to be optimistic about home ownership in your state while you're not. It's like when I went and bought a Ford, I bought it from this guy named Jaime Godina. Every once in a while, I give this guy a shout out. I bought a few Fords from him. We bought it for our family, and I've always referred over to him, a bunch of people. He sold me an Expedition. He sold me a Focus or an Expedition. But I'm like, what do you drive? Oh, I drive an Expedition. What do you have? Product or a product? I don't know. The idea of people, I did an interview 2011, Rob. If you go to Denver Post by David, Denver Post by David, I'm wearing this beautiful orange sweater. Ghetto, look at that.
Look at that.
That's from Gap.
Oh, the True
Oh,
Religion.
Kojami didn't show up. Benim
Oh,
Gap.
but hang on.
Oh,
They
that's
sailed
True
on
Religion
Emruz.
jeans. I'll go-
Look at that
Look at
sporty
that,
little
yeah.
model.
Oh my goodness, embarrassing.
Look at those. Look at
Okay,
those.
zoom out a little bit. Let me see when the story
And
was
what was
written.
the article?
When was it written?
April
Rob?
28th, 2016.
Okay, 2016. So 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And
Let me see the
top
title of the
a-
article, Rob.
I don't think that's 2016.
Home buying.
No, because
Go
2016.
with
I'm
cold,
already
clear
in
logic
Texas.
and rent.
This is not 2016. The story,
It says updated, so it doesn't
yeah.
have
Oh,
the
okay.
original.
It's up
date.
there. No, the original is 2012.
We've talked about
2011.
this article,
Yeah.
but I don't remember.
So if you go up there, the story says what?
Rent.
Home buying. Go with cold, clear logic and rent. I mean, I am for the renting if you're building something up. And that's what I did. I had $500,000 cash in 2009, and I said I'm going to put it into business instead of buying a house. And 4 years later, I bought a house. And then that made me money, and then I flipped and went and bought a house in Plano. That made me money, and then we eventually moved out here. And when we moved to Florida, we first rented for the first 6 months, and then we bought a house. And we bought a small little house, very small little condo is what we bought.
You got that small
Yeah.
little house here in.
Yeah. Okay. So
Fort Lauderdale now.
so it all depends on the home ownership. I just thought it was very interesting that
But
the governor doesn't own a house or a car.
Can I give you one more piece of insight? Because I fully agree with you that if you're building something, you should rent, and you could use basically the difference to build your business. I would make the argument that you don't have to be building a business. You can be building yourself. Something, you are your own business. You are your number one asset. The number one.
Adam, I got the argument. I'm moving on to the next story. I'm thinking you're telling me some inside scoop you have on why the DeSantis doesn't own a house, and you're telling me you're building
Well, no,
yourself.
PBD. I'm not going
I
to let you just bulldoze
I
my
get
argument
it.
here for a second.
I understand
because there's a lot
what
of
you're
people
saying.
out there that don't.
Adam, I understand what you're saying.
You do because you're
You're
smart.
45 years old. You don't own a house or
I'm
a
a
car.
fucking multimillionaire.
Yeah, you're not a multimillionaire. You're not sitting there like absolutely on top of
let's
the
not
world.
leave-
The average person
I'm doing-
isn't you. The average person isn't you.
But they can be me.
No, that's not the best life.
Says who?
Says who?
You're saying having millions in the bank is not a good thing?
You think the fear of commitment to building
No.
something?
No. Okay,
No,
go ahead.
no, what?
Go ahead. What are you about to say?
Go ahead. What are you about to say?
What are you about to say?
Why don't you own a house?
Because it's way better to rent.
For who?
For me,
You think for you it's better to rent?
100%.
You think it's good for you?
Because I'll give you numbers.
Yeah.
Because
Listen,
I've taken all the money.
I will
Yes.
agree. It's better for all of us that you're not driving.
I'm totally
That part, I'm fully with you.
we're on the same page
folks,
there.
I don't think it's a good idea. But
Because I've
here's-
taken all the money I've saved and I've bought Bitcoin. I've invested into my 401k.
Yeah.
I've invested into ETFs. I've invested into index funds. And the money I would have made buying, which historically is what, 3 to 5%, I've made 10, 20, 50, 100%.
Yeah. I get
That's
you.
math,
Yeah,
PBD. You're a stats guy. You're a math guy.
America
Tell me
is
where I
not
went wrong.
You.
And America,
Let me ask
and
you-
America's broke.
Let me ask you a
Most
question.
Americans are dumb,
Let me-
fat, broke, losers.
Let me ask you a
and they're
question.
trying to improve.
Okay,
And I'm
back
giving them
to that.
solutions. And you're like, no.
Are you
Buy a
are you
house. Well, you just said don't buy a
Are
house.
you ever planning on owning a home?
Eventually, yes.
Why is that?
Eventually.
No. But when will your argument be right?
Well, from a numbers perspective, it might never be right.
Okay, perfect.
But from
I
an
would much
emotional
rather-
perspective,
I would much rather have you keep that argument and not contradict yourself. So tell me,
I've been
will
very
you-
clear on
will
this,
you
sir.
Will you ever own a car?
if my wife wants me to buy her a car, yeah, we got to take
But
some
will
kids
you
around.
ever own a car for you?
Maybe, but it's not a top priority
Why would you buy a car for you? Tell me.
to piss you off.
Piss me off. Why would you buy a car? Because the argument
I'm
is
not anti buying a car. I do. It's funny how I loved the breakdown that you did. It just came out on Valuetainment about why to do a prenup, why not to do a prenup. I love what you did there because what you did is you drew out the numbers. And you said, all right, so you want to have 4 kids, you want to have private school, how much is your mortgage, how much is your house? And you did the math. And I love that about what you did, that you did math. Most people cannot afford a house with a mortgage, with kids, with 2 cars in the garage, with food, with groceries, with insurance. The math don't math. And things have shifted so astronomically in America today that you're just going to be broke if you keep perpetuating the same bullshit. Get a mortgage,
Adam,
get your house
you're
and a car.
not.
I'm not saying you're perpetuating that. But most people are broke. Most people are paycheck to paycheck because they're following the old rules of life. Times have changed.
Our audience that watches whatever we talk about here, okay? The average person who's minimum wage, I guarantee you they're not watching a podcast. A minimum wage person would hate our podcast.
Probably, yes.
A minimum wage person hates people like us. The person who's begging to raise minimum wage, they're not going to like a podcast like this. They're going to be sitting here saying, I can't stand what these guys are talking about. That's what they're going to say. But the people that are watching, they want to grow. For a phase, I get it, to rent. I wrote the article. I said what I stood for. Then, when later on, when you decide to have a family, wife and kids, security matters, community matters, protection matters, many different things matter. Finances matters, write-offs matter. There's a lot of other arguments on the opposite side.
I made that argument.
I know. I'm telling you.
I said if you're young and single, don't do it. If you're married and have a family, you may want to consider it.
Young and
Did I not
single.
say that?
Bro, you're not young.
I'm giving advice to people out
You're
there.
saying if you're young and
You
single.
don't think we have 25-year-olds who are watching this being like, I'm thinking about buying a house.
19 years away from getting Social Security. This guy, you understand what I just said to you? You're 19 years away from getting Social Security.
So what you want to do
And 19
is
minutes
what
from
you
having
want,
an aneurysm.
So PBD,
No.
what you want to do is make it about me.
no.
It's not about Adam. Adam's doing freaking great. I'm talking about the 25-year-old
I
there,
am with
the
the
30-year-old out there who's like, should I buy a place?
I am with
no,
the 25-year-old.
Hector, keep your money. Save that money.
I am with the 25-year-old. And by the way, that was your Russia hoax. This is the other hoax that you'll eventually come out of as well. But it's going to take a while until that comes out.
No, because this
One
is with
day-
conviction. This is with life experience. That is just media bullshit.
It's a life with very few commitments. It's a different life. You know what's back? You know a fun fact about Tom Ellsworth that you all need to know about? Tom, how many Yetis do you have in your kitchen?
I believe I have about 30 of these ladies.
Tom has 30 Yetis. Question is, how many Yetis do you have in your kitchen, right? How competitive are you?
Can you keep up?
Can you keep up? So guess what? The Yetis are back. Rob, if you want to put it up and play the video. We have the pink ones for the ladies. Fellas, go buy your wife the pink or the white one. Press play, Rob, and you can lower the audio a little bit, but you got the white ones. The Future Looks Bright with the Valuetainment logo. You got the blue, fellas, black. Future Looks Bright. Takes it to your office. You got the small ones, the big ones, all of them. So if you're somebody that drinks a lot of coffee, or you drink a lot of tea, or you drink a lot of protein, whatever it may be, or you're Adam, you are somebody that's constantly, what does Adam do with his bottle of water? He's always with his voice.
He does the bubble thing.
He does the bubble thing for his voice.
That's why I got the pink Yeti.
But you know what we have, ladies and gentlemen? Pay attention here. These are the taper bottoms that fit in all cars.
Yeah, I
See
love
the taper
these.
bottom? Don't have to worry about it. Regardless of car you have, it fits in a cup holder in the
Here's
front.
what I'm going to do right now.
And look at
There it
this.
is.
The pink and the white one. You know what?
Just went in there.
Bigger, better.
L'chaim, PBD.
L'chaim.
And Pat, you know the pink and the white one?
Yeah.
Bigger, better insulated than the Stanley. Your wife will love these better than Stanley's.
Again, remember, when we do these, guys, we don't do a big order, okay? We even have the one Yeti all the way at the bottom for dogs, okay? The Yeti bowl, okay? Can you imagine your dog's even going to be optimistic about the future, guys, if you get this form? So go place your order. We want 1 million Future Looks Bright pieces all over the world. And if you support the brand, go support Future Looks Bright. Get yourself a Yeti, and while you're there, maybe pick up a hat or two for yourself as well. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.